Two sisters are 90 minutes from rewriting Malawi's football history. Not one player. Two sisters. Same family, same shirt, same tournament, and they've carried their country somewhere it has never, ever been. I went back through every match Malawi have played at this WAFCON, looking for the moment this became real. There wasn't one moment. There were three. Here's the part that makes this genuinely strange. And I mean genuinely, not headline strange. This is Malawi's first ever appearance at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Not their first final. Their first tournament. Full stop. No pedigree. No history to lean on. No previous run to point back to and say, we've done this before, because there isn't one. For me, that's what makes the two players actually carrying this run worth pausing on. Tabitha Chawinga is the captain, plays her club football for Lyon in France, moved there in 2024. Her younger sister Temwa, 3 years behind her, is one of the best strikers in America's NWSL, two-time league MVP with Kansas City Current. Different continents for most of the year, different clubs, different leagues entirely. And then the call comes for Malawi. And somehow this summer, that's the team that ends up 90 minutes from the trophy. So how does a debutant nation get anywhere near a final? I went and pulled the actual results match by match. Quick pause, mad stat, nothing to do with football. 90% of you haven't subscribed yet. If you've made it this far, this channel's for you. You just haven't made it official. This is the part where you support it. Subscribe. Like it. Back to the sisters. It starts with the name at the very top of the group stage draw. Nigeria. Defending champions. The most decorated team in this competition's history. Full stop. A team Malawi weren't supposed to even compete with, let alone beat, in their first ever match at this level. Malawi played them anyway, and won, 3-2. Temwa scored twice that day. Tabitha added the third herself. I'll say it plainly. Beating a group stage minnow on debut is one story. Beating the actual reigning champions in your first ever match at the tournament is a completely different sentence. And Malawi wrote that sentence first, before anyone outside their own camp thought to expect it. The next result did something bigger than win a football match. Malawi beat Ghana, and that single result did two things at once. It sent them through to the semi-final, and it secured something Malawi have never had in their entire history, a place at the FIFA Women's World Cup. If you don't follow the sport closely, here's why that matters more than it sounds like it should. Qualifying for a World Cup and reaching a continental final are usually two separate achievements, earned in two separate campaigns, years apart. Malawi got both from the same run, in the same month, before a ball's even been kicked in the final they're about to play. Then came the semi-final, and this is where the pattern actually reveals itself. Algeria, a team with far more tournament experience than Malawi have ever had. And the sisters did it again. Only this time the roles flipped. In the group stage, it was Temwa, carrying it with 2 goals. In the semi-final, it was Tabitha, 2 goals of her own, Temwa adding the third. 3-1. Final secured. I watched that semi-final back specifically to check this wasn't a coincidence. One sister carrying it, then the other, match after match, like they'd agreed on it beforehand. Call it luck once if you want. I don't think you get to call it luck twice. It's a pattern. Whichever Chawinga the game needs that day shows up. Morocco were hosting this tournament. Nigeria were the reigning champions. Between the two of them, that's the home advantage and the trophy pedigree. The two things a debutant nation is supposed to have neither of, and usually doesn't survive long enough to need to worry about. Both of them are already out. Cameroon eliminated Morocco on penalties after a scoreless 90 minutes plus extra time. Nigeria never made it past Malawi in the first place. The final on Saturday isn't the one anyone drew up before the tournament started. It isn't Malawi against the establishment. The establishment's gone. It's Malawi against Cameroon. Two teams that got here by beating the teams everyone actually expected to be standing here instead. For me, this isn't a story about an underdog getting lucky 3 times. Luck doesn't beat the defending champions and then hand you the exact goal you need in the semi-final too. What Malawi have shown, 3 matches running, is that when the moment actually arrives, one of these two sisters delivers it. That's not luck. That's a pattern real enough to bet on. So here's my actual take on Saturday. If Malawi lose, this is still the best story to come out of this tournament. A debutant nation that beat the champions and qualified for a World Cup before the final was even played. If they win, it stops being the best story of the tournament. It becomes one of the best stories in the sport this year. Full stop. Either way, the belief part is already proven. The only thing left to find out is how far it actually goes. The final is Saturday, Cameroon versus Malawi, in Rabat. Subscribe and I'll tell you exactly what happened.